This is a very off-the-cuff video. I just had to vent because I'm quite exasperated by the way the Canadian public, especially us here in Toronto, are behaving like sheeple, being herded to the slaughter. Every time I drive by a bank or a Walmart or someplace where there is a lineup of people like good little boys and girls standing at attention, waiting to get into the store so they can spend their money, and then being told by the cashier Gestapo where to stand so that they can pay for what they're buying. I don't understand how after 8 weeks, we're now into our 9th week of fighting this pandemic, that we're still carrying on as though we've got to be in this lockdown, because nothing is being looked at from the point of view of those people who are being tossed to the curb, losing their livelihoods, losing their self-esteem and their dignity because they're unable to put food on the table for their families, losing their ability to move around and feel as though they have any rights anymore. And then we all have to endure our dear leader as he comes out every day at noon like a Gucci whack-a-mole, to quote Mark Bonakowski, from his little cottage to tell us about what we should and shouldn't be doing. And his messages go something like this. They're always reworked and reworded, but they essentially say the same thing. Our priority as the Liberal government is to ensure the safety of all Canadians. We really want you to know how much we care about your safety. So for that reason, we're not letting you do anything. And when we do let you do things, we're going to make sure that you feel really bad about it. Now, I, on the other hand, can do those things because I'm special. But we have to remember that I am looking for a seat on the UN Council, even though I don't say so. It's a badge of honor, and it's going to be my legacy. And the only way I can do that is to make sure China thinks I'm supporting them, which I actually really do. In el fondo, deep inside, I really believe that the Chinese government do everything with their basic dictatorship that I wish I could do. But you know, this pandemic has really given me an opportunity to bypass every democratic rule that we have in place, to keep the opposition from getting in my way when I pass draconian laws like gun bans that make no sense. But I'm really good with the word salad so that I get everybody thinking that I know what I'm doing. And the polls, just look at the polls. I'm really doing well as a leader as far as the polls go. Now, let's not mention that the polls are probably taken by media-friendly people that I pay and bail out to ask certain questions only to certain groups so that it reflects well on my leadership. Let's not mention that at all, because really, I mean, those are the only people that count. The rest of you yahoos, as Doug Ford would say, don't really have opinions that matter much. Now, not that I really understand how you poor little rubes are doing, because, you know, I have a lot of money. My daddy left it to me. I have a fancy sports car that I can use whenever I want. I have more than one place to live. I can go to the cottage when I feel like it. I can excuse every single thing I do wrong and put it down to how we can all learn from my experiences. They somehow become a universal experience that all Canadians can benefit from. So to end my 15-minute presser with selected journalists who my Privy Council has handpicked so that nobody asks me a tough question, I'm just going to say one more time, I'm so excited to see how cooperative you Canadians are, and that the middle class is who we fight for. The middle class is who we will do everything to protect. So going forward, I hope you will all understand that if we need to stay locked down until the year 2024, it's for your own good. And just remember, I'm here for you. I'm taking care of you. And before we say goodbye, maybe you mothers could ask your children to step out of the room for a few minutes. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.